It's media day. We are joined with the Colony head coach Rudy Rangel. We're talking 3-5A Division II. Coach, I'm gonna throw you in a time machine first before we get started on your team. We're gonna take you back to 2 Februarys ago when you're walking into Birdville Athletics Complex for the realignment, knowing that everybody else in Louisville ISD is 6A and Frisco's got their own thing going on up there, and Capel isn't an option. You just know you don't know where you're going to go, but you've accepted that, right? And probably you saw you were in Alito, and you're like, thank goodness. But now you're going to Mansfield, Argyle. You're talking to your bus drivers, get them buses gassed up because we're traveling all over the place. Talk to me about how you felt initially when you saw your district foes.
Yeah, I mean that's it's been two alignments in a row now where I literally go check where I think we're going to be. Then I look up at the district where I think maybe they could have put us. And then I have an assistant, both of the realignments the last 2 years say, Coach, you're not going to believe where we are. And I look in a completely opposite direction of where I even remotely thought we were. So it happened. We've been those guys for a minute. Being the singlet in LISD and being the only 5A school, I think that's just kind of been the norm. I even actually, this last time, really thought that they probably misplaced us and somebody else, thinking maybe they just spelled our name wrong or maybe they messed up. But no, man, it's been eye-opening for sure, but it's always fun to play new teams. And you're talking about a 30-year veteran who's played, I think, 6 new teams in the last 4 years that I've never played.
Right.
So
that's wild. And so you went through it last year. Obviously, you started off 3-1, and then you kind of stumbled once we got into the district play.
Yeah.
What was that district like? I mean, you got perennial 4 or 5 round deep playoff teams.
Oh, yeah.
And Timberview and Summit and Argyle that you're going through. What was it like, and what have you learned from that district play for this year?
Yeah, it's definitely been it was an interesting learning curve. Depth is always an issue in 5A. That's always kind of where the line is drawn between a 5A team and a 6A team is numbers. We've always been blessed here. We have really good numbers, but I think the biggest difference was us getting tons of guys injured in that first game against Colleyville and really not getting everybody back healthy to like week 7 or 8. You cannot play teams in this district when you're not at full strength. And I think the biggest learning curve and learning point that I have now, and I've always really focused on it, but really now I'm hyper-focused on it, is we got to get player 19 to 40 ready. We got a good set of starters, man. We're going to be good on both sides of the ball. A lot of guys returning. But right now, we are really ultra focused on player 19 to 45, to be honest with you.
I guess we'll go into some of the players. You mentioned your receiver got hurt. Well, he's back now. We're talking about Xavier Green right now. Talk about what he means to you as a receiver. He's been playing there so at least a sophomore, right?
Yeah. So, growing up, he was always a quarterback for me. I mean, this particular group, this junior and senior class currently, I've had them coach since they were 3 and 4 years old. So X was always a quarterback for us. And just a guy, especially when he got to middle school, you couldn't punt him the ball or kick him the ball. It was automatic. Funny thing is, my son, when he played football, and especially in the middle school, he would always come and say, Dad, I scored 3 times. I said, listen, hold on a second. Xavier made that play 15 seconds, and you caught a fair catch punt in the end zone, son. I don't count that a touchdown. But when he came back out, his freshman year, he concentrated on basketball and got his name out there really in a hurry in that area. When he came back as a sophomore, it was fish to water receiver. His dad was a big-time receiver in college and trains all big-time athletes as we speak. And his dad knew a bunch about receiving. So when we did make that move, it was fish to water. 1,000 yards as a sophomore. He played maybe a total of 7 games last year and still almost had 1,000 yards. So sky's the limit for that kid. And we're excited about what he's going to bring to the table in every aspect of our football team. And here's my teacher. Here's my board. We're also going to have a little defensive sidings by that kid. He's going to be on the field in every way, shape, or form to help us win football games next year. And he's excited.
Those are the kind of players you love to have, right? Where you have them playing for maybe 80% of the plays, and he's like, "Nah, I want to go 90.
Yes,
keep me out there as much as you can." That's pretty awesome. What do you have defensively coming back that may put some fear into this district?
Yeah, our defensive line is all intact and coming back. We lost a couple of really good ones, but we got a lot of young kids we played last year. Anthony Love, Cameron Ramirez, Joey Mendez. They're just a bunch of good get. We have a really solid box, especially with that defensive line. We're going to break in some new linebackers, man, and that's going to be something to really focus on Monday is making sure those guys are up to speed. We had a ridiculously awesome tandem last year that was career-breaking and everything, but I think our young kids learned enough from those guys to have really good springs and have good years next year. And then secondary-wise, man, we got Trey Burton Jr. back. I've got a kid named Ryan Kessler that's really, really good, and I mean he's just phenomenal, and he'll be a safety / running back for us. And then at corner, Noah Chavez is back, and that kid had 5 interceptions last year as a junior, and we're looking to have a big year from him.
Yeah, the thing, if we flip it over to offense real quick, is there, besides Xavier, is there anybody else that stands out? I know Vincent is coming back at tight end, but maybe some other guys that we may not have heard of that you're like, you know what, you might want to check this dude out.
Yeah, so I've got a really cool little story down the road for you guys when hopefully things go our way. But I got a kid named Kelvin Iwu who's a big 6'5" offensive lineman who's from Nigeria, who never played down a football till we got here. He's a collegiate kid, so we had to wait a year to get him on the field. Literally walked him on the field, showed him what a first down was, what a goalpost was, a whole 9 yards. His freshman year, this kid is all. I mean, you go to the freshman games and it's a lot of young talent, but you just get so fixed on what he's doing because he's 25 yards down the field every play with a guy in front of him. We finally got him on the field this year. He actually got several offers, just camping before a varsity football play in the summer of last year. Now he's a 15 offer kid, but a big old monster. And we think he may be the next big thing around here as far as a Christian Gonzalez NFL type. He is a ginormous human who is very, very physical and a very smart kid. So that's one that we're really excited about.
And this is a district where not only do you have to concentrate on your district play, but that 11th game is going to be ridiculous too, because if you make the playoffs, because 405A Division II has just as many beasts over there as they do here. You're in a region that it's no joke. I know first things first, you go through the off season, you go through your non-district games, and then your district, but just looking ahead at what you have in front of you, do you think this team learned a lot from last year that they can turn on and maybe go for one of those playoff spots this year?
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is, obviously the Argyle game was a tough one for us, and they got out really quick and got away from us fast. All the other games were right there. Yeah. I mean, we're going in the end zone to be Mansfield Timberview, where we took the lead early in the third quarter against Summit. Burleson's the one team that kind of snuck up on us, and they had a young group, and we were really depleted injury-wise, but they did a phenomenal job, and so we maybe overlooked them a little, and then they got us. So we're excited about all those challenges. We kind of know what to expect now. We know where, when, and how. Colleyville's going to always show up with a good football team year in and year out. We didn't know if they were a one-off from the year before where they had a really big run. Turns out they're going to be good for a while, and their young groups were really, really good. So there's no surprises. There's no turning corners, cutting corners. There's what's up. I mean, you're going to play that Colleyville game, and we're at their place this year over there in Colleyville, and from the get-go, it's going to be challenging. But we did learn a lot last year, and I feel like our kids seeing the speed and seeing the things and realize we can't compete with those guys. And and it's been a few years for me now. We had a really good run for 8 or 9 years, and it's been a couple. We lost a coin flip the year after COVID to not get in, and now 2 years in a row. So it's time for us to make that move. We got a lot of young talent, and I'm excited about the season.
Awesome, Coach. It seems like you're ready. I appreciate you joining us, and for God's sakes, keep them boys healthy.
That's the name of the game in spring. That's always a conundrum for a head football coach is I want to go, but I don't want to go. It's one of those weird ones, man, because you just can't afford with the depth stuff. You just can't afford to get anybody hurt. But we'll do our best to get after it, man. And thanks as always for you guys, man. Y'all are first class.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, man.